review of A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. So let's begin. So if you don't know, A Monster Calls is about 13-year-old Connor, who is struggling to cope with his mom's cancer. And then one night, a monster turns up at his bedroom window to tell him 3 stories, and Connor will then have to tell him a 4th story. A story that is true, and a story that Connor is terrified to share. So, I kind of had mixed feelings about this book. I went into this book expecting the prose to be just absolutely beautiful. I don't really know why. I think I heard from a lot of people that the writing was beautiful. I kind of found it to be average. It wasn't bad, but I think because I expected it to be so beautiful, I was just pretty disappointed with it in the end. It was very average. I found myself struggling at some points to understand the motivations of some of the characters. I found myself struggling to connect to some of the characters. The writing was just very average, to be honest. The pictures were beautiful. I mean, it was illustrated by Jim Kay, who I believe illustrated the new illustrated Harry Potter book. But his work is just stunning. Like, I marked a few of his pictures that I liked, and I really enjoyed looking at those. I don't know if you can see it. This book is too big. It's kind of shiny, but this is hard. Yeah, I enjoyed, looking at his pictures. The writing, like I said, kind of meh. I enjoyed the premise, though. I really enjoyed the story itself and a lot of the elements in the story. So I would definitely recommend. I can't really go into much detail. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it. But I enjoyed the story. I would recommend it, if you haven't read it yet, to pick up this book. So that is it for the non-spoilery section. If you have not read this book, I would recommend leaving now. You gone? Okay. So, like I said, I really enjoyed the premise of this book. I really enjoyed, one of my favorite things in stories is death as a personified character, and I really enjoyed that element in this story. When I was reading, I kind of got the impression that the 2 monsters, the nightmare monster and the real monster, were death. I kind of got the impression that the monster from Connor's nightmares was his personal concept of death. He kind of saw it as this evil, cruel, merciless, undefeatable character, because that's kind of what it was to him. I mean, I think he was struggling to understand why his mother was dying and why he couldn't do anything about it, and why in his dream he couldn't save her. And I think he kind of viewed death as this merciless beast because it kind of absolved him of the guilt he was feeling. Is that the word I'm thinking of? Absolved? Yeah, it kind of just absolved him of the guilt he was feeling. And I think that's why he was so disappointed. If you remember, when the real monster turned up at his window, he was just kind of like, that's it? You're a tree? Seriously? And I think he was so disappointed because the real monster wasn't cruel. He wasn't a bad guy. He just was a tree that liked stories, and he wound up being an okay person, or monster tree thing, he was an okay being. He wasn't evil, and he wasn't terrifying, and it kind of made it hard for Connor to not feel guilty. It kind of made it harder for him to put that blame off on someone else, because if you remember in particular, the tree, the yew tree, is supposed to be really good for healing, and Connor went to the monster and was like, "You're gonna heal my mom, right? Like, you're gonna make her better, you're gonna save her, blah blah blah." And the monster was like, "If she can be saved, the tree will heal her." So I think that was kind of a way of saying that if it's your time, it's your time, and nothing anyone can do can save you, which was the monster's way of telling him, this isn't your fault, Connor, it's just the way the world works. People have to die, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. If it's your time, it's your time. I love darker, more complex, trying stories. I love, emotional stories. I like those darker elements. I think that's why I liked the pictures so much, because they're dark images, and I mean, I thought it was beautiful. I just love... Damn it. I love images like that. I love the darker, more complex images. So I really enjoyed the premise of the book, even if I did not enjoy the writing as much as I anticipated. I think that's everything that I had to say about this, and yeah, I think that's everything. So let me know down below if you've read this book and what you thought of it. If you haven't read this book, I would probably recommend reading it. It was a good book. Writing was kind of meh, but the story definitely made up for that, in my opinion. So I would recommend this book to you if you have not yet read it. If you liked this video, like, subscribe, or don't, it's fine. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!